This is the beginning of a new day.
God has given us this day to use as we will.
We can waste it or use it for good.
What we do today is important. We exchange a day of our lives for it.
We want it to be good, not bad.
Gain, not loss.
Success, not failure.
Order that we never regret the price we paid for it. This is the beginning of a new day.
Touchdown, Bama State.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Coaches Show. I'm Khalil Stewart. We do not have Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. in yet. I think he's celebrating the classic win a little bit too much right now. But we got Jalil and Noor. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate it.
Hold the microphone. You good?
I'm doing great.
So, man, I just told you a little surprise. You got this guy SWAC Youth Player. I think this is your second time this year, if I'm not mistaken. How you feeling about that right now?
It's a blessing. I'm very appreciative to the people of the SWAC, appreciative of all my teammates just doing the things that they do to help me, all my coaches putting me in positions to go make plays. So I'm really appreciative that I can go out there and showcase my talents, and continue being a good representation for Alabama State.
One of the things I want to talk about, this is your first classic, your first Magic City Classic. You were talking about the atmosphere. Like, for you, this being your first ever one, what was that of, like, you're driving up and you're looking and you're seeing everything that's going on? What was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was just shock, like how big the crowd was outside of the stadium. I think was the main shocker. Just pulling up to the stadium, seeing all the people from miles away, honking at us and rooting for us. It really gave a real inside perspective on how much the game means to the state and how big the game is for HBCU football in general. So it was definitely a one-of-one experience, and I'm like so grateful for it.
And one of the things I want to talk about, obviously you were a transfer. This is your first year at Alabama State. It really seems like you taking on that role of being one of the vocal leaders on defense. Like, you're hyping up the players for the game, yourself and Creech, and y'all are running around, y'all yelling and all type of stuff. What is it about this team that made you feel like, hey, I gotta be a vocal leader on this team?
I really don't feel like I'm doing anything that's not in my character. Everything that I bring to the team is things that I've always tried to bring to my game, and always things that I've always brought towards football. So it's just a certain level of preparation and work that I put in for it. It allows me to have that energy, allows me to play freely and just speak to the guys freely. And even though it's my first year, they've welcomed me really well. Some of the leaders that were already on the team, they welcomed me with open arms. So I'm so appreciative for them to be able to embrace me like they do.
And I gotta ask you, obviously the press conference was going on while First Take was going on. When y'all saw Cam Newton smack the Bulldog, what was y'all's initial reaction?
I mean, I was laughing. It was funny, but it just Cam Newton on the right side of things. Cam Newton knows ball. Cam Newton know ball. That's a Heisman winner. MVP. So yeah, Cam Newton know ball. He on the right side.
And speaking of smack, this game wasn't much of a game. It really felt like from opening jump. After A&M scored that touchdown, which they kind of lucked into, to be honest with you, what was the mindset of you as a defense? Because obviously y'all fall down 6-0, and then it felt like a switch had to change from that point on.
Yeah, well, kudos to them. I don't want to take anything away from them as far as luck. Their defense, they made a good play and they got a turnover, so put themselves in a good position to go score. But we're prepared. Our coaches, Coach Barnett, he tells us keep playing. Coach Gresham, they have us ready to battle adversity. We go through these situations in practice. We make situations in practice where it might be a sudden change. So, defense, you got to run on the field. You might be down. You might be, So it's just one of those things where we're getting battle tested, as the season goes on more and more, and we're able to handle adversity. So we know that when things aren't going our way, there's no reason to panic, and just keep playing our game and doing what we know how to do.
And one of the things I want to talk about is, obviously, as a defensive player, it has to feel good to know your offense can put up 40 points a game or 50 points a game. And y'all really probably could have scored more, but obviously, there's a health risk in there. What is your mindset as a defensive player when you know that any given moment, any given game, your offense can put up that amount of points?
We just got to do our part. We got to make sure that we're doing everything in our ability to make sure we're playing complementary football with them and making sure that the things that we do are helping to translate to the offensive side of the ball, because we do have so many weapons on that side of the ball and so many guys that can go, you know. There's really no situation where we need to be worried. You know, we just have to do our part and control what we can control and making sure that we're just playing real complimentary football. You know, we can give those guys an inch, you know what I'm saying? With our offense, we have the luxury where we just got to get a stop. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to be on the 45, you know, going out. As long as we get a stop, we got an offense that can travel 80 yards down the field, an offense that can travel 50 yards down the field in one play. So it's just the things we need to make sure we're doing right on our end to make sure that we're playing real complimentary football.
And I'm sure during the summer, you get to see that offense every day in practice.
Yeah.
Is it like a competition? Obviously, we know defense versus offense in practice, but is that like something that, like, you know, every single day that offense is going to give you everything they got in your defense? I'm sure there's some days y'all won.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of days that we won. Don't let them get you confused. But yeah, we got the best offense in the country, you know, so practice is very competitive all the time. It's highly competitive. You know, we got guys on that side of the ball who going to let you hear about it. You know, Ja, them boys over there, Mari, them boys over there. So they're going to let you hear about it, you know. But it's a friendly competition and it's needed because if we can't practice at that level on a day-to-day basis, you know, the goals that we're trying to reach and the goals that we're trying to achieve, you know, stuff like that is necessary. So that type of competition and practice and going back and forth is really productive for the team, is really conducive to winning football.
Okay. Now we got some rapid-fire questions. First question, pregame playlist. Pregame song to listen to.
Pregame song to listen to. Today I Did Good by Gunna.
Okay. Pregame meal. Outside of the salmon that Coach Robinson gets y'all later.
We so much salmon. Pre-game meal, I really don't like to eat that much before the game. So I usually eat a little bit at breakfast, go strawberries, oatmeal, and then I'm pretty good for the rest of the day.
Let's think. Give me an impersonation of somebody, one of your teammates.
Boss. Hey, boss. We got to lock in, boss. We got to do our job, boss. This is Miles Richardson. Hey, boss. Hey, don't worry about all that, boss. I'm going to do my job, boss. Make sure you do your job, boss. So, yeah, that's probably the best one I got.
Give me your best. Now, nobody doesn't help but do it, really, because they say he don't really give anything off. Give me your best Coach Robinson impersonation.
Coach Robinson would come in the morning, he said, he wake up, he's like, y'all tired? Y'all acting like y'all tired. Y'all can't be tired. I've been up since 3:45 a.m. I woke up at 3:45. I stretched for 45 minutes. I ran 10 miles in the morning. Y'all ain't doing enough. 11 years, baby. 11 years. Y'all tripping. Y'all need to put some more in. Look, what you put in is what you're gonna get at. So that's the best I could do. Just real motivational. Just you know, you gotta, man, he really make you feel bad about not doing right. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on point.
Your other teammates couldn't really give an impersonation. They say he always smiling. Y'all don't know whether he happy or he's sad because it's always some teeth showing.
Nah, he doing both. He's smiling, but he dead serious.
Yeah.
He not playing. He's smiling because he like to smile, but the message is what the message is. He's not playing. Don't get the smile confused. He's not joking.
Right. All right. You got any final message to Hornet Nation out there?
We appreciate the support. We appreciate everybody pouring into us. You know, we got a lot of support from the school, from the alumni, from the current students, you know, and it's really nothing but positivity. You know, like I said, everybody welcomed me here pretty well. And, you know, I'm just blessed to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a Hornet.
Absolutely. Get the win against Prairie View.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Folks, we'll be right back out this commercial break.
This is the beginning of a new day.
God has given us this day to use as we will.
We can waste it or use it for good.
What we do today is important. We exchange a day of our lives for it.
We want it to be good, not bad.
Gain, not loss.
Success, not failure.
Order that we never regret the price we paid for it. This is the beginning of a new day.
Touchdown, Bama State.
Folks, welcome back to the Coaches Show. We are now joined with head coach Eddie Robinson Jr. Coach, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How's it going tonight?
Going good. I know you're doing well right now. I told Jalil, I said, I think Coach still celebrating that win from this past Saturday.
Well, you know, we always have that motto of today is the beginning of a new day. But that Master City Classic win, it stays in your heart just a little bit longer. But, of course, we'll get focused on Prairie View.
Absolutely. And, you know, the Classic is obviously your favorite game. There's a lot of big games that happen, but there's none like that one. And Jalil, he was speaking about the fact, obviously, this is his first year. And that he said pulling up to the stadium was like a whole different atmosphere. I know for you, as someone who's been to many classics and played in many classics, being the head coach, seeing new guys experience that, it has to feel good.
Yeah, we always have a couple new players and coaches. Sometimes it's freshmen, sometimes it's transfers like Jalil, and we always try to get them to understand the magnitude of the Mad City Classic. Everyone that's showing up, because it's not just Alabama State and A&M graduates and fans, it's just the people of Birmingham. And I think that's what makes it so magical, is that the city of Birmingham really supports that game. And for me, when you drive up, I still get the excitement like it's my first time. So I'm a little nervous, a little excited, anticipating everything that's about to happen. So it never gets old. The Mad City Classic to me is one of the greatest football games that's played every year.
And I gotta ask, and I meant to ask this a few coach shows back, like when you're sitting in that tunnel, y'all about to run out. I see you looking around, you got your arms folded, and you got Creech by you got Job by you, somebody by you. What are you thinking in that very moment?
Well, I think you're focusing on the game plan, you're focusing on the excitement, trying to make sure that the guys are excited but not too excited. And so, but to me, I just enjoy the moment. I mean, it's always a little bit of nervousness. I think I was talking to Coach Markham, who's with us now, and just saying, for me, if I get to the game and I'm not excited and I'm not a little nervous, and I need to stop coaching. So that's part of it. It's kind of like, it's my energy rush. A lot of people do different things. I don't ride motorcycles. I don't jump out of helicopters or airplanes.
You cycle though.
I do cycle, but I think just the excitement of knowing that you're going out there, you're competing, you have a game plan to win, but you still know you're risking that you can lose. And I think that's what's exciting about life. That's my joy. That's what I love doing. So it's just fun.
And this didn't, for the average fan, it didn't feel like much of a game from the jump. It really felt like y'all jumped on them. Obviously, it was an early touchdown. We fell down 6-0, but after that, it was all Alabama State.
Yeah, I mean, that was the game plan. The game plan was to jump on them early, not give them any type of life or momentum, to make them feel like they can win. And I think when you get that mindset, if you won a couple of years, you want to try to keep that going early on and not let them feel like they can get into the game and play hard. So the guys did a great job of playing throughout the entire first half and then coming back out in the third quarter and not letting down. So it was a great team win for us. Probably one of our best that we've had since I've been here. And then for it to happen in the Mad City Classic is even more special. So just a big moment for everybody that's an Alabama State fan. So
funny story. Obviously, I know y'all beat Prairie View 92-0 when you were playing. After y'all scored 49 to end the first half off, everybody's looking around like, is Coach Robertson going for 92? Like, is he going to break that record? Like, did you expect, obviously you expect to win, right? You expect to put up that many points, but 49 is a lot of points to hang up in any first half.
Yeah, 49 in the first half is pretty incredible. And just for the record, in that Prairie View game, it was 72-0 in the first half.
So they got the records wrong online then. Records aren't online.
Yeah, it was 72-0 in the first half. And the quick story on that is when we came out in the third quarter, not to get way off topic, but the referee was like, hey, Coach, that was the captain. He's like, Eddie, you want to kick off or receive? And I looked at Coach Markham, I said, Coach Markham wanted us to receive the ball. So he's like, man, that's ridiculous. You tell Coach Markham he's wrong for that. But, Coach Markham was one of those guys who's going to keep playing. But getting back to the Mad City Classic now, I think the talk with the kids were they knew that the all-time record was 59-13 by the 1991 team that I was a member of. So they were like, Coach, we can't break the record, but, it's just the game didn't evolve to that way. We just wanted to get out of there and respect the game, respect Coach Shade, and keep everybody healthy. So, I mean, you're always trying to score when you go in there on offense, and that's what we tell the reserve guys, Smoot and all those guys. We're never going to put the offense on the field and say we're just running plays because it's just not being competitive. And so they did a good job, A&M did, of competing in the second half. It was only one touchdown scored by us and them. So it's a lot of fighting them, and we know next year is going to be a lot harder because Coach Sam Shade and everybody on that staff, I mean, they'll have a good experience. Those guys will understand what it's going to feel like to play in the Mad City Classic and to lose one. So we know it's going to be tougher to come back and try to win another Mad City Classic.
Right. Absolutely. Folks, we'll be right back at this commercial break. Stay tuned.
This is the beginning of a new day.
God has given us this day to use as we will.
We can waste it or use it for good.
What we do today is important. We exchange the day of our lives for it.
We want it to be good, not bad.
Gain, not loss.
Success, not failure.
Order that we never regret the price we paid for it. This is the beginning of a new day.
Touchdown, Bama State.
Folks, welcome back. And Coach, your offense dominated this game. I don't think the defense is getting enough credit for the essential shutout that they pitched in the first and second half. Talk about the defensive game plan going into this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played one of our best games defensively. I mean, just from the standpoint of winning on third down, I think we were 3 or 14 for like 28% of success on third down, which was our big emphasis because the week before we didn't do a very good job. So for us as coaches, when we emphasize something all week and then the kids emphasize it, communicate well, and then execute on Saturday, it's just a feel-good moment. And I think Jalil and those guys getting turnovers and sacks. Keon Lewis getting a big interception. I think Twilly Lovett played his best game of the year. So we need those guys to really come on. Some of our young guys played it really, really well. Eldridge Shelton and those guys. So I could just go on and on. But defensively, those guys played at a high level. And we're going to need that for the next couple of games.
And Tashawn Sims gets his second interception in the back-to-back match. I say, is he going to return this one too? But it didn't end up that way. But yeah, the defense of a lot of guys that you may not have heard of are stepping up this year and making big-time plays. Talk about how those young guys are stepping up as the season progresses.
Yeah, so we had DeMarcus Cunningham, some of those guys, Burgess, Scarborough, some of the legends from last year who were all conference players. And they were like, man, there's a whole lot of new players on defense. I'm like, yeah, man, it's taking us a while to get this thing going how we want to. And so from starting a lot of young guys early on, I think the staff, Coach Gresham, all those guys, they've done a great job. Middleton at D-line and Sims and Coach Brown, all of them, Saeed Lee, they've done a great job of just getting those guys to communicate and to get better each week. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for. If we can get a little bit better each week, then we know we'll get to where we want to go. But it was a little tough early on giving up those points. But I think for us, at this point, I think our best defense is still ahead of us as the young guys get more and more mature, get more comfortable, understanding what Coach Gresham is asking of them, and then just competing at a high level. But the biggest thing is effort. A lot of times when you watch the film, you saw 8, 9, and 10 jerseys in the picture. So as long as we're playing hard, all of the other mistakes are correctable. And so now you're seeing the turnovers and the sacks and those type of things are starting to come. But it just took a while for those guys to get together and play together with all of the new faces and the young guys who were playing for the first time.
And let's take a transition to the offensive side of the ball. Jalen Jones, hometown kid, came out, got offensive MVP of the game. He played probably was his best game of the season to this point. Talk about his performance.
I mean, he just keeps getting better every week, and I think he's expecting it. Like, he's expecting to go out there and make good plays, and now you're seeing that defenses are doing certain things to try to stop him, which will open some of the other guys up. But, I mean, two Magic City Classic offensive MVPs with Kareem Key and Jalen, two guys who are from Birmingham, who are best of friends, who compete every day. It's great for me as a coach that as much as we recruit Birmingham, that those guys are coming home and being able to play at a high level. Right. We have 11 guys on the team from the city of Birmingham, so we're always going to go there. And because to me, that's the biggest sales pitch. Hey, you get to play in the Magic City Classic. Like, why wouldn't you want to come to Alabama State?
Right. And Coach, I know that you rep the purple and gold, but it really feel like Mr. Andrew Body and Asa Gregg, they give you a shimmy. I mean, are we fine with that, Coach? Are we taking that?
Well, you know, I got a lot of calls from pretty much every noob I know around the country. So they're like, hey, man, you got a lot of noobs. So I said, we rolling with the noobs. That's all I can say. So they did a great job. And so, you know, I'm real big on the fraternity and sorority life on campus. So it was great to see those guys represent the KA side the way they did. And they just did a great job. And as long as you're making plays on the football field, you can shimmy all the way to halftime.
And stand on your and don't forget standing on your head if it's Jabari Kirkendall.
Yeah, exactly. So with the handstand, that was pretty impressive, I must say. Yeah. And so it's just fun. And I think college football has to evolve into that where you're letting the kids have fun. Me as a defensive player, I remember when Terrell Owens was, you know, having the popcorn and dance with the cheerleaders, people would always ask, as a defensive guy, do you get mad when the offensive guy score a touchdown and then do a celebration? My job is I'm going to hit you hard enough so you don't get in the end zone. So to me, it's the defensive job, guys, to stop you. But if you get in the end zone, it's tough to score a touchdown. Let the kids celebrate. The biggest thing, as long as you're not aiming your celebration at the other team or the opponent, and I think the guys did a great job of having fun celebrating. I think the refs did a good job of allowing the kids to celebrate because it's a big moment. I mean, they work hard. We only get 12 games a whole year. So let them celebrate and have a good time.
Right. And I also want to mention Cam Smith and Desmond Daniels were just announced. I think it's HBCU. My mind's slipping me. So, but they were announced. They got preseason all football honors to play in the All-Star. I can't think of. You probably know
the Legacy Bowl.
Legacy Bowl. Yeah.
Coach,
I ain't messed up in a long time. You got to bear with me. But they're going to the Legacy Bowl. Talk about those honors. Those are guys that don't get a lot of credit, like you said, unless they hold somebody or they false start. Talk about those two guys.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line, I think Cam Smith, Desmond Daniels, Frazier, you got 3 grad students. Well, Cam is he's in his 5th year, but he'll graduate this year. But, I mean, those 3 guys have really been anchoring us. And to get that option, that honor to play in the Legacy Bowl down in New Orleans, I think both of those guys, all 3 of them, have a chance to play at the next level. And they're just competing every day. I mean, they're playing big, physical, tough, violent. And so I just love watching them play in the bigger. Of course, the quarterback's going to get a lot of the credit, and running backs and receivers. We see all of that, but none of that would happen without the guys up front. So Coach Carr and Coach Green have been doing a great job of just getting those guys to develop, and they're still getting better each week. So I think their best football is still ahead of them, but it's been fun to watch those guys play.
Some of the most athletic 300-pound men I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and that's what they kept missing. Like, both of those guys did splits.
Yeah.
And so I remember last year in the Man City Classic, they did the little 5, and then they did the split. And the referee's like, hey, man, your offensive linemen are doing splits. You need to tell them stop doing it. I'm like, doing splits? What you talking about? They're impossible. And then when I watched the tape, I was like, man, they doing splits like fools, like James Brown splits. So it's pretty amazing. I don't know how that didn't get caught on social media, but it was pretty entertaining to see guys that big that can do a full split. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Folks, we right back at this commercial break. Stay tuned. Coach, I forgot to ask about this in the original segment. You're standing next to Cam Newton in first tech, and I know the defensive mentality on you. Him being that 6'6", 250 pounds, I know in the back of your mind, like, if this was 1991, 1992, how would I tackle him?
Well, that's exactly what was going through my mind. So before Cam, the biggest quarterback that I really had seen was Doug Williams. When I first met Doug Williams, I was like, man, this is a big old quarterback. It would have been tough to tackle him. But then standing next to Cam, and I'm like, man, this would be almost impossible to tackle him. So it gave me a true picture of how big and how dominant a player he was. And there was a picture of me standing next to him. You can really see. I was telling Coach Gresham, my defensive coordinator, I said, man, Cam Newton is way bigger than me. I showed him a picture. He's like, wow. So him being a linebacker, he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Like, how would I get this guy to the ground? But, I mean, that first take segment was pretty amazing. A lot of great publicity for Alabama State and for the football team in general, for the whole Man City Classic. And it was an honor to be a part of it with Stephen A. Smith, the HBCU grad, Cam Newton, of course. And so I definitely enjoyed it. But Cam Newton is a big guy. I mean, he's a really big guy for people that don't know. And so it's just a really good football player and doing a great job of just promoting everything that we're doing just from a football standpoint, college football, HBCU. So it was a joy for me to be a part of it.
And Cam Newton is on the right side of history right now. But if you know, you know. Coach, I want to talk about this week. Big week. Every week is a big week. But Prairie View is a team that's playing some very good football right now. Talk about this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to start with Coach Tremaine Jackson. I mean, he's a guy that's a Texas Southern grad, and so he knows the swag. He's been around, been coaching really well, and he has those guys playing at a really high level. It's kind of like playing a mirror image of ourselves. And they want to be tough and physical. They want to run the football and stop the run. So well-coached team, not a lot of penalties, those type of things. So we have to go down there and really get ready to play. And so we're going to make sure we're prepared. And I was telling the coaches and the players, I think the last couple of weeks, it was Alabama State homecoming, Jackson State homecoming, Mad City Classic. And I think this atmosphere won't be as energized as those last 3 games. That's probably some of the best atmosphere you can have in all of college football. But for us, we have to go down there with a mindset that we have to get the job done. And so the strength is in the routine. We'll go back to our same routine that has been working for us the last couple of weeks. And so we'll prepare like it's a SWAC championship game. And pretty much we've had that mentality since the first game in the conference, because every game you don't know. You look at it in the West and the East, it's so many teams that's decided by one game. So in 1 week of the season, the first place can go to fourth place, fourth can go tie for second. And all you can do is control what you can control, which is win the next game. So that's our goal, is to go down there and just try to get 1 win.
Absolutely, folks. Couldn't have said it better myself. Folks, we'll see you next week after we talk about the Prairie View victory. Good.
This is the beginning of a new day.
God has given us this day to use as we will.
We can waste it or use it for good.
What we do today is important. We exchange the day of our lives for it.
We want it to be good, not bad.
Gain, not loss.
Success, not failure.
Order that we never regret the price we paid for it. This is the beginning of a new day.